Modesty is the fence around the fence. Typically, a modest woman is not going to sin such sins, even though this is sometimes a lie, because she's modest on the exterior, but not modest on the interior. Like this Reshait from Australia, that was a principal in a religious girls' school, that after she was caught, she claimed that she was insane. So they took her to an insane asylum. They took her to a crazy hospital. But not everybody bought the story. How does somebody insane sexually harass 74 little girls? Now, if you look at her from the exterior, she had the kisui rosh according to the Rambam. You know what according to the Rambam is? Kisui rosh according to the Rambam, if anybody wants to know, is two kisui rosh. It's the regular kisui rosh of the mitpacha, and then they put a hat on top of it. Just chas v'shalom, make sure nothing shows. Not even the shape of anything. That's how she looked like. But she molested 74 little baby girls. Now, because of the stupidity of our people in that area of the world, they tried to hide the crime. Because this was going on for a while. You don't do this over a week. This is something that's been going on for a long time. How about? This is something that's been going on for a long time. But they tried to hide it and hide it and hide it, and eventually, Baruch Hashem, it got exposed. As the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says, someone that's mechalel Shem Hashem beseter, someone that desecrates Hashem's name in secret, the onesh, the punishment is for Hashem to expose them to the public. And we read this about 6 months ago or so. And Baruch Hashem, this happened. She was exposed, but then she claimed to be crazy. And she went to Israel. But then, a few smart people wanted to investigate this Reshait Merushait. May Hashem give her a very slow and painful death for touching little precious girls of Am Yisrael. And there's no mercy for such people. You're not allowed to have mercy for such people. It's actually a pasuk. It's in Tehillim, it's in Proverbs, it's in the Gemara. It's all over the Torah. You're not allowed to have mercy for such people. Not allowed to have mercy for such people. Kol hamerachem al achzarim, sofo shitachzer al rachamim. The Mesilat Yesharim uses the Midrash Tanchuma, Parashat Metzorah. The Mesilat Yesharim, the Ramchal says, someone that is merciful on people that are vicious, eventually they'll be vicious on people that are merciful. We are not allowed to be merciful on Reshaim. You're not allowed. We're not even allowed to be merciful on ignorant people, if they're ignorant by choice. As the Gemara in Masechet Brachot, page 33a says, and also the Mesilat Yesharim repeats it as well, Kol mi she'en bo da'ah, asur lerachem alav. Someone doesn't have da'ah, someone doesn't have anything in his head, not allowed to be merciful on him. Why? He chose not to have anything in his head. He chose, the only information in his head is he knows how to build an engine for a car. He knows how to fix the oil. He knows how to go on a bus. He knows how to fix a tire. How come he doesn't know how to say Kriyat Shema? How come? He chose not to. Now, it's not saying to go beat him up. No one's saying to go beat him up or yell at him or make fun of him. But don't say, no, but Chaval, Misken, he doesn't know, so maybe he's going to get Gan Eden anyway. No, there's no Gan Eden for Reshaim. I'm sorry. There's no free lunch. There's no free lunch. He chose, he has to pay the bill. Just like if you choose a bad husband or a bad wife or a bad job or a bad anything, you have to pay the bill. So Baruch Hashem, someone sent someone to this crazy hospital as a private investigator, but as undercover investigator, pretended to be crazy also, and befriended this evil monster of a woman. And Baruch Hashem uncovered that she's been lying to everybody all along, and now Baruch Hashem, last week the story came out, that they're trying to extradite her. And Israel agrees, and they're trying to comply with all the laws to extradite her, to send her to the rotten jail in Australia for the rest of her life, Bezrat Hashem, where she suffers, at least in this world, for a little while before Hashem takes her and makes her suffer for eternally. Someone that takes advantage of little kids is not just evil. It's not just a bad thing to do. It's just the root, the core, the source of that person is evil. There's no tshuva for such things. Such a person is mamash a shed. It's a shin dalit. Cannot be a human being. To hide their crimes, these teachers and principals, male or female, and sex offenders and pedophiles, to hide their crime, not only is enabling the vicious person, the evil Haman, the evil Hizevel, to continue their crimes, but it's actually making the people that are hiding it partners in the crime 100,000%. And that is why the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 16, says that all of us on Rosh Hashanah are like Bnei Merun. How? We are getting checked one after another, as I told you guys on Sunday. Why one after another? Because the guy in the back, he gets the punishment and the judgment of all the people in front of him. Why? He's connected to it somehow. He's connected to it somehow. He didn't rape the girl. He didn't rape the boy. But he didn't say anything when he saw it. Lo chiach. Oh, you didn't say anything? Why, you wanted to be friends with them? You wanted to back your boy up? Okay. Hashem will make sure he'll back your boy up also. You too will have the same villa in Gehinnom. You're not allowed to assist people. They're not allowed to assist terrorists. These are spiritual terrorists that are giving the Torah a bad name. But they're also ruining these precious souls forever. There's no way that a child will ever grow up normal when he goes up into such a traumatizing experience. Now, already having, people growing up in broken homes, or growing up in one of the parents is in a jail, or growing up one of the parents is secular, and so that's already difficult enough. That's very difficult for some people to ever overcome. But once a kid is touched and violated by someone that they trusted, because this is supposed to be an authority figure with a kippah, with a mitpachat, and you hit it, you're worse than them. The communities must scream out against these people once and for all. Save the kids, because the kids are growing up and like, yeah, I hate God. Why do you hate God? What did God do to you? Oh, he let my teacher rape me. What do you mean? Who? What are you talking about? Who? What? And you find out these kids, miskenim, poor kids. How come you didn't tell anyone? I did tell someone. Who'd you tell? I told my parents. Oh, so what? How come they didn't do anything? They're afraid of the local rabbi. Shiamut rabbi hazeh. Rabbi, what rabbi is this? Hiding terrorists? Go to the cops. For such things, you have to go to the cops if the community doesn't do anything. Now, yes, you should go to the rabbis, the local rabbis, right away to try to do something about it without killing the person, giving them a death penalty, but punish them according to the Torah. But for such things, there's really little that we can do that's not going to get somebody else arrested forever. You're practically forced to go to the cops. And if they're hiding it, this is not a community you want to grow up in. So what do we learn from all this, Rabotai? There's really one main thing that we've learned many times. En shalom, Hashem amar l'reshaim. First of all, there's no mitzvah of saying shalom to reshaim. There's no mitzvah of saying shalom to people that are wicked. There's no mitzvah of making peace with them. That's number one. You're not a tzaddik if you call your friend a tzaddik, and he's really a rasha. In fact, the Gemara says you're a rasha for doing it. You're not allowed to call him a tzaddik. Litchanef. Litchanef is to kiss up. You're not allowed to kiss up to reshaim. It's a sin. That's number one. Number two, which is even more meaningful and more relevant to our shiur, is that today people are so sick mentally and emotionally, in their minds, is so full of tum'ah, so full of garbage that they've learned and consumed from movies, from internet videos, from their friends, from all of the things they learned throughout their entire life, that at this stage, Rabotai, you cannot trust anyone, with or without a beard, with or without a mitpachat, modest, immodest. It's all irrelevant. You can't even trust your own family when it comes to your little kids. Always, always double check everything. Always make sure you teach your kids to speak up. If you have one of these kids that's very shy, you have to make sure to have a lot of patience with him or her to make sure that if something looks weird or something is odd, get the information out of them in a very nice, polite, patient way. Why? Because that kid is so ashamed of what just happened sometimes. Shem Hashem, he can live with it and only tell you when he's 20 years old and completely messed up out of his mind. It's too late already at that point. So you have to be ultra, ultra careful with your kid, and you have to communicate with them. You have to ask them. And in general, you should also follow halakha. You're not allowed to leave your kids with just anybody. You're not allowed to leave your kids with just strangers. Even school, the parent-teacher, don't wait for the every 6 months parent-teacher. Show up at the school, unannounced. See what's going on. See what they're teaching. See where your kid is. Show up. Just see what's going on. Why? Who knows? I'm not saying everybody's a criminal. I'm saying you can't trust anyone. That's what I'm saying. Why? Because I don't want to find out too late. I don't want to find out too late. And stories like this about little kids, they break my heart. I cry when I hear them. It's like, how do you touch a little kid? How do you do anything to a little kid? It's unbelievable to me. And then when it comes from the religious world, it just kills me. But this is story after story after story. And unfortunately, these stories are something that the communities hide for years. The Christian community, the Catholic community, the Jewish community, the secular community, everybody hides it. Why? We're ashamed. Of what? You should be ashamed of yourself for hiding it. It's time to speak up. We have to. The kid is relying on us to protect them. The least we need to do is to do that job.